Let's explore one possible solution to this challenge. Scrolling down to the map, I can see here's the Hollywood location and the one that I'm calling the Chavez Ravine location. I lived in Los Angeles, so I know that's what that area is called. It pops up with that info box. It's working like we expect it to. So, how did we put this together? First of all, I needed to geocode that address using the same service that we used before, feeding in that address here and pulling out the coordinates. Back over here in my script, I now have 3 locations up here at the top. I have the store location for the Hollywood location, which I've renamed to avoid confusion here. The one at Chavez Ravine, where I've plugged in those coordinates. And then the new center point, which is not either of those locations, because I needed a place that could show both of them. We've changed around the zoom level here to account for showing both of them at once. I have my info box, which I'm reusing. If we wanted to be able to show both of the info boxes for both locations at the same time, we could have 2 instances of an info box, but because I'm only toggling, I'm just reusing the same one. So none of this code needed to change. I'm setting up the pin for the Hollywood location here, and the pin for the Chavez Ravine location down here. And when I said that we could reuse the same event handler, we did copy it into this add event handler listener the first time, but now that we're reusing it, we took it back out. It's right down here. The definition is exactly the same. It's generic because it's using that event parameter to retrieve the pin using event.target, and then pulling the title and the description, which is unique for each pin. So we can have one event handler that handles either type. And after that, we just have a pin defined exactly the same way as for the Hollywood location for this new Chavez Ravine location. And when I was trying to set that new center point, there were a couple of things that I needed to do in the JavaScript console. First of all, I needed to re-enable panning. Now, of course, I could go back to my map definition and change it right here in the code, but that would involve reloading, and who has the time for that? So instead, I looked over in the map documentation. And just like there are all those getters for different things like getting the zoom and the map type and all that, there are also some setters here, like set options. That lets me dynamically set the options that are applying to the map as it's currently loaded. So what I did was I opened up my JavaScript console, loaded up my map, and called set options. And according to the documentation, it accepts an object of those map options. So I tried setting, here in the console, disable panning back to false. Now if I hit return, I can drag this around again. But if I refresh, it would be reset to my original options. So I was able to drag that around and then use map get center, which returns an object with the latitude and longitude. Likewise, get zoom returns that zoom. So with that all done, I can refresh. We're back to a map that doesn't drag around anymore, and we're done. We have a completed map that shows both of the locations.